the most impactful families and experiences that I've had in the funeral profession. I'm Nathan, musician, mortician. We're talking about those families, those experiences that really alter your DNA. They alter every fiber of you in the most profound ways. There was a family who lost not one, not two, but 3 individuals. And I'll never forget it because of how heavy I felt. I recalled I was the last person that spoke to them on the phone. They called because their wife had lost their child, and they had just gotten out of the hospital after delivery. And they were coming to the funeral home because they wanted to make arrangements and they wanted to schedule the burial. They wanted to get it over with, begin this grieving process. I said, be careful. It wasn't shortly thereafter, we had a procession headed to a cemetery that was going to be heading out to where they were coming from. That cemetery's location was essentially a midpoint. The cemetery, they called and they said, hey, your procession's going to be held up because there was a wreck, a bad wreck, and there are fatalities. I was vlogging at the time on this channel, a video of old, way back when, and I said on camera, I hope it wasn't them. It was them. The chapel was filled with their caskets and their flowers and their family and all these pieces of memorabilia, and the baby as well was with the mom, and it was so heavy, and I gave my all for this. Not that I hadn't given my all with all the other families, but it was just something that I was just so invested in. And in that moment, after the burial took place, that moment, I experienced the first sense of compassion fatigue. I was so exhausted. I remember I turned a camera on and I just started talking to it as a way to journal almost. And I just cried, and I put it up on my YouTube channel as a way to save it. Little did I know it was unlisted, but it was public. It was unlisted, but not private. I woke up after sleeping all night, and late morning, I woke up to thousands of views, comments from the family. I was immediately embarrassed at first, but shortly thereafter, the response was so positive. The family knowing that I felt something too, the family knowing that I cared so much that it affected me, that I'm at home, that I'm emotional over the fact that they too are emotional and grieving someone's in this instance that they love so much. They should have been celebrating the birth of a child and looking at the nursery, and yet not only did they lose the baby, they lost 2 people who created the baby and that they loved too. It was so moving, and I was embarrassed to feel what I felt. I was embarrassed. I was humiliated at first, but then I realized people appreciate that funeral directors are not robots. It was those moments, similar moments like that, that inspired, that continue to inspire the songs, Single Last Time, and Yet, and all these songs, because I will never write something, put something out there that I don't believe in ever again. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe right here on YouTube and click the bell to be notified when I release content exclusive to this channel. And if it wasn't the car wreck then that lost the couple and the baby, it was the car wreck that lost the 3 children. It wasn't once I went to the morgue. It wasn't twice I went to the morgue. It was 3 times I went to the morgue to retrieve these beautiful children that these parents lost. I just remember carrying that so close to my chest and to my heart because I wanted them to know. It's always the kids. It's always the kids. I remember my first child. I remember we went to the residence, and I'm still forever connected to this family. And I still see the child's uncle. I still speak to from time to time just to let them know that I think about this child often. We go to the back door and go through the kitchen. The blinds are pulled. Of course they would be. There's nothing to celebrate. They don't want the sun to come in. They don't want anything to come in. And I remember staring at and acknowledging all of the loved ones that were in the family room. And then we go up the steps, and in this beautiful kid's room filled with toys was a sweet little child in Ninja Turtle pajamas. And that will forever be in my mind. Those are the moments that funeral professionals carry with them. And they sign up, not necessarily even knowing, because I don't think our brains are wired as human beings to know I might experience this or I might experience that. We're supposed to grow up, grow old, and die as a sweet old man or woman. And thankfully, I've experienced a lot of those beautiful celebrations as well in their 90s, and families are just celebrating their long life. Sure, they are sad because they've been spoiled by having them for so long, but in death, they celebrate that they are no longer suffering or reunited with their family members or not in agony of any sorts any longer. Maybe they're no longer lonely because they've outlived all of their friends and family before. I've experienced that, and I've experienced the tragic. I still touch base, it seems, on anniversaries of one familiar person's death, the parents I'm always reaching out to, burying your friend's family, burying your grandparents, burying your cousin and friend. Those are the moments that forever change you, and I think in a good way, because I believe that through suffering there is victory. And what better victory than experiencing the beauty of life and knowing that it is worth sticking around for. And perhaps this is simply just to let those who stumble upon this video know that perhaps even the families that I've served know that I think of them often. I know that we are going to be remembered for something. I know that sometimes in this, all of the moving parts and pieces and, the funeral home doesn't care. Like, that's a broad statement, not care in the sense of we don't care about you, but just generally speaking, they do their job well, and then they're on to the next family. But no, I'm here to attest that on behalf of probably most every funeral director, it's not even close to the case. It's polar opposite. It's you that we take with us. It's you that we think about before we go to bed. It's you that we think about when we get up. It's you that we exhaust ourselves to impress and to serve and to serve well. It's you that we don't want mad at us. It's you that we want to know that we're thinking of you. It's you that we think of. And this profession is beautiful, and there's been so many sacrifices. Since this is my channel, this is me speaking about my sacrifices. They're great. They're magnificent in size of what has been sacrificed and what it's cost to care for. And I would do it all over again. And so to the family of the children of the car crash, or the family of the children that died in the fire, or the sweet little old lady family, or the Newmans, or all of you who I have had the distinct honor to care for, to celebrate your loved one, to sit with you. You've made me a better human being. You've made me more present. You've made me realize that listening is imperative. You've made me realize that having little or having much, there's no difference when it comes to the level of love that we have for the people that we love. I have learned to meet people where they are. I have learned to tell stories. I have learned to tell stories and not be afraid of feeling what I feel. And it was because of Fuzzy, and it was because of that family that permitted me. And to them and to the others, the many others that have allowed me to sit with you as you grieve, to celebrate those you love as you grieve, to grieve with you, I thank you. Thank you for allowing me into your homes, into your families, in a sense. It's amazing to see your family on social media and to know that you all are experiencing, if only a little, moments of joy. And those moments, the pivotal moments as a funeral professional, are why I think funeral professionals keep showing up, because we get purpose, feel purpose, a sense of something that I think we all want to feel, and we're lucky enough to feel and know that what we do actually matters and is impactful and meaningful. And I can't think of a better profession, and I love creating content that I believe in, this huge studio that I'm able to create content in, and the countless people who've called upon. I thank you, and I thank you for being here and streaming my music, which is surpassing million streams last time. Single has reached number 15 at radio. I am privileged and grateful for you. You're thought of. If you take anything from this video, may it be that you are thought of. That people, total strangers perhaps, think about you. That's a beautiful thought. be sure to follow. Be sure to subscribe here. Be sure to click the bell to be notified when I release content. Find me on all the other socials. We'll link it in the description below, and I will see you at the next video.